S. Pierce. WayneSPierce.com is the website to go to. Check things out there if you would, please. How are ya? This is the 4th of June, 2017. And there's so much in the news, and I've been watching it for the last 24 to 36 hours, around in there. You know, looking at posts, looking at different things, different breaking news stories, that kind of thing. And I realized that about 80% of it, let's be a little more conservative, probably about 75-80% of it, is nothing but fear-mongering and sensationalism. Now, I'm not saying the independent media is doing that, and not all of it anyway. Maybe some of the independent journalists and independent media outlets are doing that. But let's get right down to the truth, shall we? Let's get right down to the very nature of what is happening. There's a group of people who want to control the world, want to control everyone on this planet. And they will control the narrative that people hear. Now, this is true. There's no getting around that. They're leaving Chantilly, Virginia today. That would be the Bilderberg group, who have met this past weekend, to, as I say, put the chess pieces where they need to be. Insiders from the Bilderberg group who have told other folks in the independent media have come out and said that the Bilderberg group wants to overthrow Donald Trump. Well, that's kind of an interesting little tidbit of information, because 4 members of Trump's cabinet went to the Bilderberg group meeting in Chantilly, Virginia. Can we say irony or hypocrisy? I find it incredibly odd that people are what they are. People are a curious lot. People have their lives all planned out, and certain things don't work out as planned, that kind of thing. We understand this on a daily basis. We understand this on a very open basis. And the fact that we are still here struggling years later after the Act of 1871 is the most incredible piece of history that we live in as of the 4th of June 2017. Because as far as I am concerned, from my particular perspective, we, the people of the planet, can take care of ourselves. We're not incapable or invalid in any way. We can take care of ourselves. We don't need centralized government. We don't need a plethora of people meeting in secret to decide what the rest of the world is going to do. We need the very moment we understand who we are, we need to stand up and just say enough's enough. But you see, we've been so indoctrinated over the last 150 years, so pressured into political correctness, that we have failed our fellow human beings. In some cases, not in all cases. And what we have done is we have, in the independent media, we have pulled the veil away to show who's behind the curtain. In the independent media, we have structured our defense in such a way to where we ourselves can stand up with full confidence and say, yeah, we know who's pulling the strings. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, when you're sitting down with your family, when you're sitting down with your friends, your coworkers, some people work at night, they're there with their coworkers. If you're sitting there and you're wondering what tomorrow's going to bring, remember two things. First, that's up to you. And the second thing to remember is there's a group of people out there that are going to try to stop you in creating a better future for yourself and for your family and for your coworkers and for your neighborhood. There's your political diorama right there staring you in the face. There it is. There is the model of what is going on right there. And the men behind it, they're in Chantilly, Virginia right now, discussing how they're going to do it. It's not a matter of if they plan to do it. They've been doing this since 1954. So these people have a number of years of experience stealing your money, manipulating you in every way possible, putting everything on the ground to make it look as if you're doing good, but you're really not. They're doing everything they can to steal as much money from you as they possibly can to enslave you in I'm going to borrow this word. They want to enslave you and put you in a matrix. That's what they want to do, if you're not already there. If you're not already there. Now think about this for a minute. You've got a situation in this world where your very own neighbor doesn't even know who you are. Okay? And you don't even know your neighbor. But here's a solution. Let me get right down to it before I take a break here. Let me give you this. Okay? Let me put together two things and break them down in such a way to where you understand what's going on. Okay? Basically, number one, here's this. You look at all of life around you. You examine it. You go to work. You do this. You do that. You spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day working. You plan for your future. You plan for the day. You plan for the weekend. But those plans are upset by what? The variables are endless. Okay? The variables are endless. Here's the second thing. You know that these things exist. These variant things exist to upset your plans. Here's a possible solution. And this is the second thing. Identify the culprit. Identify the perpetrator of what upsets your life and stops you from achieving the goals that you have set for yourself. Identify that. And after that, you'll know what to do. Here's the whole point of what I'm saying. Here's the whole point of what I'm saying. The group of people, 130 plus countries, leaders and other people, 131 countries are represented. Well, not 131. Did I say countries? I'm sorry. There are people, a group of people in Chantilly, Virginia, leaving today to go back to their countries to tell their people, their lobbyists, their special interest groups, their particular people, here's what we're going to do. And here's my point. We have to stop those people. We have to stop those people in whatever manner possible. We have to identify who those people are and stop them from upsetting our plans for a better life for each of us individually and for our families and friends, co-workers, etc. We have to do that. Now, how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? I don't know. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? I don't have the answers to that. You yourself have to decide, A, am I going to accept what is happening and find ways to overcome that problem? Or B, am I going to just sit back and pretend that nothing is wrong and pretend that everything is just hunky-dory and we'll just vote people out of office into office? And are you going to go with the same old routine every day? That's the B side of that. I myself personally don't believe in conforming to the world's ideals of what they, the group of people in Chantilly, Virginia, I don't want to conform to what they have planned for my life. I don't want to conform to their limited life that they want everyone else to have. I don't. I really don't. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because, well, I'm, not to sound arrogant or narcissistic or anything, because I'm not, but I'm better than they are in a lot of ways. I am better than even the things I've done in my own life. I limit myself, I censor myself, I pull myself back from things that I don't feel I have the confidence to fulfill, except for the fact that I have full confidence knowing that I can accomplish anything that I set my mind to. But the enemy of ambition is complacency. It's laziness. It's just, I don't want to do it. Procrastination is the key to turn on that engine of complacency. And we have to understand that, and we have to see that, and we have to accept that. A lot of people don't want to accept that. I chuckle, but that's true. A lot of people don't want to accept. They don't want to accept that they can get complacent and procrastinative, or get complacent and become so bogged down with so many thoughts, so many ideas that they just sit there and just let it die. Let their ideas and their plans die. It's like, well, geez, if the world's falling apart, if the economy is going to collapse in the U.S., what's the point of me, even planning on going on a vacation? Let me tell you something. 95% of all you hear on the news, which causes you, and this is a psychological, psychiatric finding, a result and you can read these in the university white papers and all these, studies that they've done, that when you listen to the daily news on a daily basis and you hear all of the, 2/3 of their program is nothing but sensationalism, and they sensationalize war, and they sensationalize fear, and they sensationalize all this. It is a psychological finding. The studies have proven that you become depressed. That's the thing. And a lot of people don't even understand that, because they are told not to think too much. In other words, when you watch your local news, when you watch CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, when you watch them all, they're telling you what to think. They're not allowing you to think for yourself. They're not allowing you to come up with the ideas on your own. No. They're stopping you from understanding what's happening behind the curtain, because they're telling you what to think. It's amazing to me. It simply is amazing to me that people cannot understand that. There are, I say people, so I throw a whole lot of people under that umbrella. So I'm going to say this. It's amazing to me that a majority of people of the United States of America cannot see what's being done to them. This is the awful truth that people do not want to accept. This is the and people will sit there and say, well, I don't want to, I want to continue to have positive thoughts and all of this because, I don't want the negativity to ruin my life. I don't want to hear it because I don't want to, be depressed all the time. And shall I go on, or have you heard the excuses yourself? You'll also hear people say, well, that's your truth and that's your facts. No, that's the truth and that's the facts. University studies have come out and have shown the reality of the things that I'm talking about. The psychological studies that have been done at universities have proven beyond anything else that you can imagine. Universities' studies have proven that when you watch too much news and too much of the negativity of the news and too much of that sensationalism of the negativity of the news, you become literally depressed. The findings have proven it. I'm going to take a little break, folks. Not going to be gone. A couple of minutes. I'll be back. Don't even, just check it out. WayneSPierce.com, or go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com, and we'll talk in a few minutes. Don't go away. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. I am Wayne S. Pierce.
Even now, in this very room, you can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Pursuing the truth with a vengeance. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Hey folks, how you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce right here on this particular podcast for the 4th of June 2017. How are you? Hey, welcome back. You can go to my website at waynespearce.com. That's waynespearce.com. waynespearce.com is the website, or go to americanlibertyradio.weebly.com for more information. americanlibertyradio.weebly.com. I've been told that I talk too fast. Well, not really. I mean, I don't talk that fast. I don't think. I don't know. But anyway, let's get on to something else. I just wanted to fill you in on what's going on and what my perspective is on these people. And I asked somebody in my Facebook page, is Fukushima as bad as the media is telling us? And somebody said, they put up a link, beyond urgent, busted. If you want senseless, ignorant scaremongering, there's no shortage of it on YouTube. Somebody else said it's no Chernobyl, I know that much. And the person that put up the link to the video says that the person in the video goes through all the BS and debunks it with science experiments. So, is Fukushima as bad as the media is telling us? Let me give you a little bit of historical, narrative, or, a snapshot of what we've done in history. In the 20th century, we set off two atomic bombs. And before that, we were testing them in deserts and in the oceans and stuff like that. In 1945, we dropped 2 atomic bombs on 2 cities in Japan. Nagasaki, Hiroshima. And now we had an earthquake over by Japan, on the Ring of Fire, by the way, that destroyed a nuclear plant in Japan. And recently, one of the destroyed nuclear reactors fell into the ocean, I think last week. Is that bad? Well, yeah. Environmentally. But we've been blowing stuff up for years. We've used nuclear testing, to find out, what, here, let me just basically just give you this. We've tested nuclear, bombs everywhere. Underground, in the ocean. But is this gone too far? Is the media telling us, well, I'm going to say this, my opinion, just my opinion, the media is using fear-mongering tactics to sensationalize how bad it could be. I mean, folks, I don't know what is wrong over there. I have no clue. Chernobyl, years ago, the nuclear power plant in Russia, melted down. They put lead over the whole thing. And then they covered it up, and then all of that. And they just covered the whole thing up. I mean, literally with mountains of dirt and lead and everything else. Can we do that with Fukushima? Well, it's going to take years, but I'm sure we could. And the question is that there are scientists and people there who are taking out these nuclear rods and all this. What are they doing with all that? Where are they putting that? In my opinion, I would suggest taking it, sticking it on a rocket somewhere and firing it off into the sun. I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. How about you? I really don't think so. But anyway. That's a good question. Is Fukushima as bad as the media is telling us? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Now, I'm going to say this before. I'm going to read an article because this has happened and this is in the news and all of that. So I want to say something before I get into this news story out of London. There's been people throughout history who have literally terrorized other people. For what? For what? To get their way. To get their way. That's what they want. They terrorize other people to get their way. The subtle, pseudo-diplomatic blackmailing techniques don't work anymore. So they terrorize other people. They literally terrorize other people. London terror attack. Police gunned down terrorists within 8 minutes of being called. One officer was seriously wounded, while heroic cops gunned down extremists within 8 minutes of first emergency call. Now, the London terror attacks, and it has come out, and yes, it was a terrorist attack. The Sun is reporting 3 terrorists wearing stab-proof vests drove a van into pedestrians at 50 miles an hour on London Bridge before attacking revelers with hunting knives. 6 people have died, and at least 48 have been left wounded following the 10:08 attack, 10 p.m. It happened at 10:08 p.m. Staff at a packed pub locked the doors as the gang tried to smash their way in. One man was stabbed 5 times. Assistant Commissioner of Metro Police Mark Rowley confirmed that all 3 of the depraved attackers were shot and killed within 8 minutes of the first call of emergency services. A picture taken outside the Wheatsheaf pub in Borough Market shows the 3 terrorists lying dead after being gunned down by cops. One of the twisted attackers was pictured wearing an Arsenal football strip from 2011-2012 season. 4 explosions confirmed as controlled blasts by the police were heard outside the Sun offices near London Bridge between 1:23 a.m. and 1:49 a.m. There's read more. I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. Terror. In some countries, it works. In some countries, they fall to the terrorist. You can name those countries on one hand. But I would speculate, and I'm only speculating here because I don't know all of the details, but I'm only speculating that this could happen in a much worse way right here on American soil. Seriously. Be back in 2 minutes. AmericanLibertyRadio.com is the website. WayneSPierce.com is the other website. I'll be back right after this. Don't go away. You know what you want. You want the truth. You want the facts. Without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distorted Reality. I am your host, Nick Tucker, and I welcome you to the broadcast.
Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey folks, welcome back. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. I am Wayne S. Pierce. You can go to my website at waynesPierce.com. You can go to American Liberty Radio Network website at AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Working on the main site, getting all that looking better for you, so check out the backup site. You always got to have a plan B, folks. Check out the backup site at AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. It's very simple, but very effective. So anyway, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com is the website. Go check it out. If you want to sponsor, if you want to put an ad on the network, you can do that. I would appreciate that very much, and it's a win-win situation for both of us. So go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com, go to the sponsors page. All the information is right there. And, yeah, there you go. It's as simple as that, folks. It's as simple as that. Let me check something out real quick before I get into this next article. I want to make sure that I've got something on the website which would help you out a great deal and help me out a great deal. That would be awesome. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com and go to the sponsors page. All the information that you need for advertising on the network is right there. It's not going to change, folks. You know, it's not going to change. It may, you know, a few years down the line, but it's not going to change. But that's what it is right there. And let me go one other place, and then I'll get into the article that I wanted to talk about. You can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com is the main site, and you can go to the sponsors page on that one. And down below, or, you know, it shows sponsor page, advertising on American Liberty Radio Network is not going to cost you an arm and a leg. We're not out to break your advertising budgets. Okay, right below all of that is become a patron. There you go. If you don't want to advertise on the network, you can just become a patron. Drop $1 into Kitty to help us keep the lights on around here and to keep me in caffeine because I like my coffee. So become a patron. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page. Become a patron. Starting tomorrow, We're going to be working on, like I have a mouse in my pocket, who's a computer tech guru. I don't know. I'm going to be working on the main site for a few weeks and kind of making it all look better and navigate better and all that good stuff. So go and use the backup site at AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com for the next few weeks. And yeah, there you go. Just want to give you that information. So, let me go here because it is important that I get to this article before the end of the podcast. Now, we had the terrorist attack in London, and we have the left, really pissed off at Donald Trump. Okay? CNN host Reza Aslan lets rip at President Trump. President tweets about reinforcing the travel ban in the wake of the London terror attack. And CNN host Reza Aslan called Trump a piece of crap. Well, use the S word, but I'm not going to. After U.S. President Donald Trump took to Twitter to use the London terrorist attack to reinforce his call for the United States Muslim travel ban, a CNN host decided to speak out against him. Reza Aslan, host of CNN's Believer TV, called the president a piece of shite. I'll say that. After Trump used the London tragedy where 3 jihadi terrorists killed 7 people and injuring 30 more during a horrific knife rampage in central London last night as a means to try to reinforce America. The tweet from President Trump that sparked the 45-year-old journalist to respond said, quote, "We need to be smart, vigilant, and tough. We need the courts to give us back our rights. We need the travel ban as an extra level of safety," unquote. Now, I'm going to quote this, but pardon my language. I'm going to use the word that this CNN host used. So, pardon my language. My apologies. Quote, this is what Reza Aslan tweeted. Quote, "This piece of shit is not just an embarrassment to America and a stain on the presidency. He's an embarrassment to humankind," unquote. My view is this. CNN is the communist news network, and they are a piece of shite. That's just the way it is. CNN has lost it. All mainstream propaganda media has lost it. Every single piece of news that they, report on or that they comment on or that they have in their arsenal of scripted television is a bunch of lies. It's a bunch of bullcrap. It's a bunch of just garbage that they're trying to use to indoctrinate everybody else. As I said in the first segment, they're trying to tell you what to believe. They're trying to tell you what you should know, and they are trying to twist your arm to make you believe that it's the truth. Okay? They do this. That's who they are. All right? There's no denying that. You cannot deny that. Okay? Now, before I go any further, I want to say this. I talked about it a little bit. The Bilderberg group meeting in Chantilly, Virginia, leaving today, going back to their respective countries. The truth behind Bilderberg, a short history of the Bilderberg Group, David Knight, Infowars.com, 3rd of June, 2017. It's a video, or videos, so I'm going to put that on the American Liberty Radio podcast page for you to check out. So that's a brief history of the Bilderberg Group, which was formed at the Bilderberg Hotel and I believe it was Sweden in 1954. I could be wrong. Could have overlooked something. I don't know. But here's this. This is what the Bilderberg Group has said about President Donald Trump. Get Daniels, Infowars.com, 3rd of June, 2017. Flashback, Bilderberg demands Trump, quote-unquote, be stopped. Quote-unquote, nationalism is dangerous, this sinister network once said. The Bilderberg Group is secretly plotting to overthrow President Trump, given past statements by its network that Trump, quote, must be stopped, unquote, and that, quote, nationalism is dangerous, unquote. At this year's meeting in Chantilly, Virginia, the attendee list included 4 editor-in-chiefs of major publications, including Zany Mitten Beddoes of The Economist, a magazine which routinely cheerleads the globalist agenda. Now, in February 2016, during the presidential election, The Economist published an article demanding that Trump be stopped from winning the White House. Quote, the things Mr. Trump has said in this campaign make him unworthy of leading one of the world's great political parties, let alone America, unquote, stated the magazine, which accused Trump of, quote, inciting hatred and violence, unquote, despite the fact that the Bilderberg Group was linked to major wars. Quote, he is so unpredictable that the thought of him anywhere near high office is terrifying. He must be stopped, unquote. The Economist opposes Trump because he's against the globalist power structure that Bilderberg represents. Okay? There it is. There's more. I mean, I was going to read more, but I just wanted to highlight that for you. Because that's on American Liberty Radio podcast. Because here's what the left does. They side with people that, well, A, have the same political beliefs as they do. And B, that these people, the constituents, the populace who follow these left-wing morons. These people want to jump on the bandwagon of globalism and use words like diversity and use words like, you know what it is. You've heard them. But the bottom line is, it's nothing more than a nefarious group coming together trying to manipulate the media, which they know that everybody listens to. They manipulate the media so that the media gets their scripts as to what to say, what to do, how to do this, how to manipulate this, that, and the other thing. And everybody within the United States of America and around the world. That's one of the aspects of the Bilderberg Group. The other aspect is creating war, creating fear, creating various things in the world to undermine the principles of peace, freedom, liberty, and security. We have to be more secure and give up your liberties. We have to admire and support liberty. But you need security to be able to back up those aspects. Do we not? You can't have one without the other, but you can't have more of one and not have the other. So what do? It's real simple. You take both, you combine both liberty and security, you put it together, you hand that to the American people, not to the government, and the American people know exactly what to do with that. Now, some might get the idea that people like myself or Pete Santilli or Alex Jones or any number of independent media, people are using the example of the Bolshevik Revolution as what we need to be doing in America. No, let me just point this out right now. That's stupid. Just want to lay it out there for you. Just want to put it out there. Now, I don't want to give you all of the answers because, well, I don't have all the answers. I can give you my perspective, my opinion, my view on certain things. We can discuss this. But here's the thing. We have to take time, make the time to investigate and research, even if it's an hour a day, research what's going on. We have to do that because it is to our advantage that we know what's going on behind the curtain. And here's something else I wanted to mention, and I don't want to get into this huge discussion about this because, well, it would take hours. CERN, you've heard that, CERN, you've heard that, right? CERN director visits Bilderberg, fueling fears Collider could open doors to, quote-unquote, extra dimensions. Bilderberg elites take interest in Collider, accused of being gateway to other worlds. Kit Daniels, Infowars.com, 2nd of June, 2017. The top brass of CERN, which operates the largest largest particle collider in the world, is attending Bilderberg this year, rekindling fears CERN will cause unfathomable changes to human civilization and may even lead to parallel dimensions. Fabiola Gianotti, the Director General of CERN, is an usual participant at elitist meetings mainly for shaping geopolitical events, but CERN does have a strange relationship with the elite, and its collider has been criticized for harnessing too much power humanity can handle. The collider reportedly generates a magnetic field 100,000 times more powerful than that of Earth's, a concern because human and animal biology, particularly the pineal gland, interacts with the Earth's magnetic field. I'm going to stop right there. This is proof. I mean, you can go look this up. This is provable. It's there. Okay, so let me because there's a lot of quotes here, there's a lot of things people are saying. So I'm going to put this on American Liberty Radio podcast because it is important to talk about, because these people are using the Bilderberg group is what I'm talking about. They're using fear to intimidate us. They're using fear to intimidate us. Oh my God, if we crank that CERN particle collider up to, maximum, we're going to turn into a black hole. That's fear-mongering. But you see, I'm sure these scientists out there at CERN are going, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, I think they're smarter than the people at the Bilderberg meeting. But they use fear to intimidate us. Here's a good question. Could something catastrophic happen? Well, of course, it could. And should we be worried about it? No, not really. As one person told me many, many years ago, one person told me, a friend of mine actually was telling me, we were talking about, the work I was doing at that time. I had a day job and all that. And we just got down into a very serious discussion of life. And, my friend looked at me and said, hey, when it's your time to go. And I'm like, well, yeah. And I know that's an old cliche and I know that's an old concept, but I mean, it's true. So, if we get sucked into a black hole, I hope we wind up on the other side of the universe somewhere and in a much better place. Who knows? But seriously, I think these people at CERN know what the hell they're doing. And I think they have, I think they can manage to take care of what they're doing. But the Bilderberg group, they don't care. They'll take the most powerful weapon in the world and use it to intimidate and bully the rest of the world and say, we'll just push this button here. That's who the Bilderberg group is. A bunch of people getting together trying to, and here's what they don't understand, and here's what other groups don't understand is once you wipe out your opposition, you've only got yourselves left. And guess what? Somebody in your group is going to get pissed off and say, hey, wait a minute, I was promised this. And then they're going to break off and start battling against the group that they were a part of. You see, it's like they're going to eat their own. So what's the point? What's the Bilderberg's point in controlling the world and destroying everything in the world when they're going to be left and they're going to start eating their own? What's the point? It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. So, I don't know. These are things that we should discuss. These are just, views and opinions that we have about certain things in life and certain things that are going on. It just, we have another suit in the White House. We have another occupant taking up the chair in the Oval Office. We have celebrities being completely stupid. Yes, I said it. What are you going to do about it? We have we have people who have run for president, for Congress, for all of that have just turned around and are blaming everybody else but themselves. Bitter Hillary belittles achievements of female foreign leaders to rationalize loss. Another day, another excuse for why Hillary Clinton lost the presidential election. She's blaming everybody but herself. Now, let me say this, and I might piss people off with this, but I'm going to say it anyway. The vast majority of the people of the United States of America who are siding with Sanders and Clinton and Maxine Waters and all these people, MSNBC and Rachel Maddow and all these people. The vast majority of the American citizens who are siding with these people are dumber than a box of rocks. They're just dumb as dirt. Because I've watched videos from various people, including Mark Dice, go out into the public and ask questions pertaining to what is going on and who's what, and he gets specific and says, who's this person and that, and The vast majority of people don't know because they're dumber than dirt. Well, you can't indict everyone. Yeah, I can. If you're stupid, I'm going to tell you that you're stupid. If you're ignoring the obvious, I'm going to tell you that you're ignoring the obvious. Which literally makes you ignorant because you're ignoring the obvious. Well, you can't do that. People aren't that way. They just don't know. Oh, and here's the excuse. I don't want to know what's going on out there outside of my house because I don't want it ruining my day. I hear that. And guess what? They're right. They don't want it ruining their day. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to accept anything that is outside of their paradigm, which is filled with preconceived delusional ideas that they want for their own life, and they continue to focus their attention on some ethereal, pie in the sky dream or some unnamed invisible deity or whatever. I mean, they're not looking within themselves to say, hey, what can I do to alleviate the pressures put on me by the rest of my community or the rest of my state or the rest of my government so that I can be a free and liberated individual from the tyranny coming out from our government officials. They don't want to do that. This is why I've said already in past podcasts that the vast majority of the American people are cowards. They don't want to stand up for anything. They're afraid. And it's not so much being afraid of fearing of what might, could, possibly, perhaps, maybe happen. No, it's not that. They don't have the confidence. They don't have the confidence to stand up for what they believe in. They don't have the confidence to secure that backbone and say, yes, I can do this. They don't. They would rather hear the fear-mongering of the mainstream propaganda media. They would rather stay in their, tortoise shell and poke their head out every once in a while and go, oh, is it still going on? Okay, I'll just stay in here then. So, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel here, folks. And it's not an oncoming train ready to run you over. It is the light at the end of the tunnel, which means you're at the end of it. You walk out and boom, there it is. You see the environment. It's cool. It's clean. But you've got to have the confidence to walk through that tunnel, through the darkness or the dim light, and move beyond that and go out and do what needs to be done to take care of yourself, your family, your coworkers, your city, your state, your country. You have to have that confidence. I'm going to go to break here. I'll be back. Don't go away. It is the American Liberty Radio Network. This is Wayne S. Pierce. Go to my website at waynespearce.com and go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com for more information. Be right back after this. American Liberty Radio Network. Listener-supported online patriotic radio. With the new year upon us, the truth will be seen as fake news, and the lies from the propagandists of the mainstream media will forever be in the minds of those who have been indoctrinated with their disinformation. Your support of alternative and independent media is vitally important to the continuance of our freedom of speech and expression. It is very crucial that you consider supporting other media options. American Liberty Radio Network is supported by listeners. If you are a local business, consider supporting independent online patriotic radio with your advertising dollars as well. There are two options for you. One, you could advertise your product or service with us, or you can donate to the network. Consider contributing to independent media today. Consider American Liberty Radio Network. Contact us at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com or go to our website at AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
What no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distorted Reality. I am your host, Nick Tucker, and I welcome you to the broadcast.
Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network. We the people have the power, for we are America. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Hey, folks, welcome back. This is Wayne S. Pierce. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. Go to my website, waynespearce.com, or go to americanlibertyradio.weebly.com for more information. This is the 4th of June, 2017. How are you? Are you good? Are you happening? I mean, seriously, are you? Did you wake up and go, this is going to be a great day? Did you do that? Because it is. It's going to be a great day. Leftist activists demand Russia investigation. Trump impeachment at March for Truth. Yeah, wonderful. Seriously. Alex Clark, 30 June 2017. Hundreds of left-of-center activists gathered at the base of the Washington Monument this morning to advocate for an independent investigation into alleged Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. Anger and derision were also directed at the president for his perceived mishandling of the truth, his associates, interactions with various Russian officials, and American withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement. Speakers at the event included Congressman Jamie Raskin, now President Terry O'Neill, and the the NOW, National Organization of Women, Terry O'Neill. Obama speechwriter John Lovett, not the actor. Town Hall Project spokesman Jimmy Dayman. Sinuses. And Muslim feminist activist Linda Sarsour. Congressman, these are the people that was at that rally yesterday. Congressman Raskin spoke to Russian President Vladimir, spoke of President Vladimir Putin leading a global conspiracy to destroy liberal democracy with his own puppets ranging from President Rodrigo Duterte of the Philippines to President Trump. He also railed against the American president's entire agenda as an act of war on the American people. I'm just going to stop right there and say this. Excuse me, sinuses driving me nuts. I'm just going to stop right there and say this. This is the leftist, communist. Well, I'm probably insulting communists out there now. But this is the American communist leftist agenda. This is their whole foundation. To disseminate disinformation, to rally people together, to literally tear down our constitutional republic and replace it with I don't even know what to call it anymore. I don't want to call it a democracy because democracies don't work. What? Democracies don't work? Here's the thing. Diplomacy works. Democracies don't. A constitutional republic based upon or having the ideals and concepts of peace, freedom, liberty, and security is the way to go. And diplomacy works to make all of that work. But under a democracy, you don't have that. Some people would say, and I have said this in the past, that they are interchangeable in concept, but not in practicality. Okay? Republics work of, by, and for the people. Democracies are a majority rule. Simply put. A constitutional republic, which the United States of America is supported by the voice of the people, by the actions of we the people, by the machinations of, by, and for the people, and it works. A democracy is 51-49. Or in the truest case of democracy in the United States of America, it's majority rule. And basically, he who has the money wins. You know, I mean, it's that. It's that. Okay. That's up on American Liberty Radio podcast. Pope Francis calls missionaries to announce Jesus Christ, not spread ideology. What? Let me go there. Thomas D. Williams, Ph.D., 4th of June, 2017. That's today. Breitbart.com. The church's mission, Pope Francis has declared, is to announce the good news of Jesus Christ to quote, all men and women of good will, unquote, since he alone is, quote unquote, the way, the truth, and the life. In his message for World Mission Day, released Sunday, Francis said that Jesus Christ was the first and greatest evangelizer, a word that literally means one who announces good news. Quote, the world vitally needs the gospel of Jesus Christ, unquote, he said. The idea of the mission, the Pope said, is not some add-on to the life of the church, but stands at the heart of the Christian faith. According to the gospel, in fact, the last command that Jesus left his followers was that of a mission. Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything that I have commanded you. And remember, I am with you always to the end of the age. Quote, the church is missionary by nature, unquote, the Pope said in his message. Otherwise, quote, she would no longer be the Church of Christ, but one group among many others that soon end up serving their purpose and passing away, unquote. I want to say this. That's all good. I mean, seriously, that's good and all. I'm not bashing that at all. I mean, seriously. But have you heard what the Pope has said before? In recent weeks? In recent months? Have you heard about that? I mean, it's, to me, and I'm going to say this, it's hypocritical. It's very hypocritical. This Pope has called for a new world order. This Pope has called for a one world government. This Pope has called for a one world religion. And he's saying this stuff? I'll just leave it right there and on American Liberty Radio Podcast and let you be the judge of it. Again, Bill Maher drops the N-bomb on Real Time on HBO. And now he's apologizing for it. Star Jones to Barron Trump, quote, there is a lot to have been embarrassed about if that was your father, unquote. That's Star Jones from The View. Nikki Haley blasts UN Human Rights Council before visit, quote, a haven for dictators. Thomas Pyle, scrapping Paris deal, quote, one of the single most important decisions, unquote, Trump has made. Here's more. Coptic victim of attack on Egypt Christians renovated mosque for free before his death. What's the difference between a normal everyday Christian and a Coptic Christian? Some of you folks want to give me that answer, or I'll go look it up myself too. But yeah, what's your view on that? 3 Texas border city cops shot, 1 injured, suspect dead. That's Bob Price over at Breitbart.com is reporting on that. New grooming scandal fears as UK police investigate almost 200 sex crimes in one small town. New grooming scandal fears as UK police investigate almost 200 sex crimes in one small town. Yeah. This is all on Breitbart.com, by the way, folks. Meltdown. Globalists revive, quote-unquote, President Bannon taunt post-Paris pullout. New York Times, Trump's climate decision, quote, a victory for Steve Bannon purist. Report, Google and Facebook control 85% of online ad growth. There you go. I put up on my page 75%, at least 75% of all ads that are on Facebook are nothing but snake oil sales and all of that. I mean, they're bogus. They're just completely bogus. I mean, you have to work on your own, find your own information, go to the right people. And, this is how I know how to do the things I do, is because I don't listen to everybody else. If I want to start a business, I don't go read a book about starting a business, even though I have books on my shelf about starting businesses. I've highlighted some of the things in there. I've, thumbed through it and looked at certain things and read certain chapters. But guess what? I go right straight to the licensing department of the city and I say, what do I need to do? That's pretty much where I get my answers. I go straight to the top and say, yeah, I read this. I've done this. Now I'm coming to you. What do I actually need to do? So the ads on Facebook are bogus. I mean, if you look at them, how many in your main news feed, how many suggested ads or whatever it is, whatever they call them, how many of those have you seen and literally knew for a fact they were clickbait ads? I would say 75% of the ads are bogus ads that take you to places that are, when I say bogus, I'm literally saying that they're nothing but money hungry, ads. You click on it. And did you know, let me fill you in on a little tidbit of information I received. You click on those ads, that person, that company, that organization that put that ad up there gets a few pennies. That's why they call it clickbait. They get a few pennies just for you clicking on the ad. This is why I know they're full of bullcrap. I know it. That's just the way it is. So why do I want people to advertise? I want local people to advertise on my network. Why? Because I know them. They're in my neighborhood. They're in my city. I know these people. I go to these places. So if there's anybody in Billings, Montana that wants to advertise on American Liberty Radio Network and reach over 10,000 people, yeah, let's talk. I mean, I don't look for, the grand national advertiser. No, I don't. You know why? Because I just don't. I refuse to buy into all that propaganda. The mom and pops in your local area are the ones that keep your neighborhood supported. That's the thing. And if you don't believe me, just go crunch the numbers. You'll see. That's why I would like to hear from people in Billings, Montana, who are mom and pops and little shops around the place. And, we'll talk. I'm not out to break your advertising budget. I want to help you out. Pretty much. That's what it is. Real simple. But these ads on Facebook, it says Google and Facebook control 85% of online ad growth. Lucas Nolan talks about that. Kleiner Perkins Caulfield and Byers venture partner Mary Meeker released her annual Internet Trends report this week, identifying a number of important points for the tech industry. Meeker, revealed her 2017 Internet Trends report at the Recode Code conference this week, outlining the general state of the tech industry. Meeker's report compiles information on what areas of tech are being funded, how internet growth is spreading, what areas of tech are resonating with people, and where the future of the industry may lie. Here are some of the biggest takeaways from the 2017 report. Smartphone sales are slowing. Did not know that. This is all going up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Number 2, Google and Facebook control 85% of online ad growth. Number 3, internet ad spending will surpass TV within 6 months. Number 4, esports is a huge industry that will continue to grow. Number 5, streaming music has surpassed physical sales. That's just 5 of them. And there's, reasons behind all those things. So I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. And right here, when I'm posting this, it says right below this, well, let me post this and I'll tell you what it is. There it is. It's posted on American Liberty Radio Network, on American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. Right below where it says write something, it says advertise your business. Get people to learn more. Get messages. Share a photo or video. Create an event. Create an offer. Publish a job post. Write a note. That's below all that. Okay. So how do people... It has already been shown and verified that people get their news from online sources such as Facebook and Google and Twitter. That's why the mainstream propaganda media is failing. That is why they are failing miserably, okay? Because everybody's going online. They're unplugging their cable. They're unplugging their cable. And they're saying, no more. I'm done. That's it. We're over. They're just unplugging it. Hell, we don't have cable TV. We have internet. And we watch Hulu and Netflix and other shows on there as well. But, what's the point of having cable anymore when it's all on the internet? It's an interesting tidbit of information that I'm going to share here, and that was, I didn't get on the internet until 1995, 96. And about 2000, probably 99, 2000 and all, shortly thereafter, I was, in my room, I was on the internet and everything. And my dad was walking through and he asked me what I was doing. And I said, and I told him, and we're talking and everything, and I told him, I said, Dad, everything that you see, movies, music, television, everything that you see that is entertainment-based, news-based, and this kind of thing, it's all going to, this is like 2000, I'm telling him this. I said, it's all going to wind up here. This is where it's going to be. We're not going to have the news on the TV. It's all going to be right here. And he goes, really? And I said, yeah, look. And I showed him at that time what it was. And he's like, oh my. And I said, yeah, everything's changing. Everything's changing. And I told him that. He could not, he understood it because he was a smart man, but he was like baffled at the fact that the changes were so much and so rapid because, my father passed away a couple of years ago, but up until that point, he saw the rapid changes in society and how they gathered their information. And other people that I know who were older, and really, came to understand that this is not the world that they grew up in anymore, that everything is changing so fast that they can't keep up with the information that is being put out there. And when I started getting more and more people telling me, you got a lot to say, you need a platform. So I, went from there. I said, well, I don't know. So years ago, prior to 2010, I was on another network, Blog Talk Radio, Talk Shoe. And then when, and I started telling people, hey, this is what's going on, this is how everything's changing, and, all that, and the whole 9 yards, And then something hit me. About 2010, about 2009, 2010, I found Spreaker.com, and something hit me, and I thought, hey, let's revamp, regroup, reset, and let me do some other things. So I did. And I've been broadcasting either live or on podcast since 2010. And I'm going to tell you right now, the growth of the internet through innovators with the resources that they have, and through the contributors such as myself and others who do podcasts, are now where people go to get their news. We are the information that people are looking for. They're not looking on their TVs anymore. They're not looking on their networks anymore. They're looking online. And that's why independent media and that's why alternative media are a big thing now. I mean, that's huge. Podcasts are a big thing, you know. I mean, go look at the statistics of AM, FM radio, Sirius XM, podcasting. Go look at that, and you will see that the popularity of podcasting has been just incredible and has grown for a long time. And it's gotten better. And a lot of people are going, well, how can I make money? How can I do this? How can I? Well, there's two types of what I'm going to call them. There's two types of podcasters. There's ones that do it, they do it because it's a hobby to them and it's fun and it's an exciting thing to do and they get information out. And there's a lot of sports shows that are doing that. And you can find them on Spreaker.com and elsewhere. But then there's people like me who want to, have the ability, the forum, the platform to get the information out there. And to be supported by listeners who want the information. That's, those are the two types of podcasters out there. The majority of the ones that I've heard and seen on Spreaker.com and other places, they do it for fun. They do it because it's just an incredible place for them and it's a break. It's, whatever. They do it for whatever reason they're doing it. But then I see the other half of that. There's news programs out there, let me tell you, Sean Hannity is on there. Laura Ingraham makes podcasts, Glenn Beck, other people, Rush Limbaugh, they make But here's the thing. They have a platform now outside of their mainstream platform to get additional news out there, to get additional information to people. The stuff they can't say on their networks, they're putting out in their own personal podcasts. You see what I mean? They're getting away from that mainstream hold that is over them. And they're breaking free and they're doing their own thing. They're breaking free from the media matrix and they're using their own popular platform to perpetuate other things, to get other news out there. And that's what podcasting does. And right now, Spreaker.com and other platforms are very popular, but Spreaker.com is really, I would say, at the top of the list of places to go to start a podcast. And like I said, everybody, there's a lot of diversity in the podcast world at this point. But the bottom line is that you have to have a platform to put out the information. And on that platform, you have to decide whether or not you either want to do it for fun or do it for, profit or whatever, or to have something that you're using as the primary platform and then use Spreaker or Blog Talk or TalkShoe for another way of getting information out there. That's basically what it is. And with American Liberty Radio Network that I've created since 2000, it was 2010 when I started broadcasting, I'm not out to break anybody's budget. I'm out to give to the people. And if you like it, contribute. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page. All the information is right there. There's a button down there that says Become a Patron. Drop $1 into Kitty to help us keep the lights on around here. Go to our backup site. That would be AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. And check out the site. Go to the sponsors page there as well. If you have any questions, of course, all you got to do is ask me. And that's all you got. All you got to do is ask. You can go to and send me email at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. And folks, I'll be back right after this. Don't go away. You know what you want. You want the truth. You want the facts. Without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distorted Reality. I am your host, Nick Tucker, and I welcome you to the broadcast.
Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask the questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
What no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!"
American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Hey folks, welcome back. This is Wayne S. Pierce. You can go to my website at waynesPierce.com. The music you're hearing is from Ethan Maxell, The Fiery Furnace. Ethan Maxell. You can get that on YouTube. The Fiery Furnace. Ethan, I think it's Maxell, Meixsell. So thank you, Ethan. Appreciate that very much. Anywho, folks. Last segment. I'm not going to take the break here in 10 minutes like I wanted to, because I got a lot to get into before the end of the show. Let's go to Breitbart.com. Let's go to Big Hollywood. Bill Maher apologizes for using racial slur on Real Time. Daniel Nussbaum talks about that one. Wonder Woman makes history for female director with $100 million opening weekend. Isn't that great? Yeah. $100 million for the leftists. Anti-Donald Trump play, Building the Wall, shuts down in New York City after poor ticket sales. Duh. Anyway. Now, I want to I want to say this because it's important to understand where people are coming from. Ann Coulter on Kathy Griffin. Victims are the biggest bullies in the country now. On Friday on his Fox News show, Tucker Carlson Tonight, host Tucker Carlson and author Ann Coulter weigh in on the Kathy Griffin emotional press conference where the comedian accused President Donald Trump and his family of trying to ruin her life. Ann Coulter says victims are the biggest bullies in the country now. I just, the Hollywood leftists are just, to me, they're amazingly stupid because you can't really, to me, understand for a minute here what Hollywood does. Hollywood literally puts out stories and all of this and they're a make-believe manufacturing place. They manufacture make-believe and they put it out, and most of it, you've got life imitating art imitating life. You have all that concept, you got all that going on, but literally you have Hollywood that uses a platform of quote-unquote entertainment for their political agenda. There's no. I don't myself personally. I don't think there's any room to breathe in Hollywood when it comes to conservative, patriotic thought. I don't think there's room to breathe because when you see people like Tim Allen, whose show Last Man Standing was canceled because of his conservative views, had nothing else to do with ratings or anything like that. And you got other people being corralled into this little place, metaphorically speaking, and then the leftists of Hollywood shutting those people down. This right there is an act of war against, freedom, against ideologies, against the First Amendment, name it. Just fill in the blanks. This is what Hollywood does. And it's and most Hollywood leftist elites are hypocrites. That's just the way it is. They're just hypocrites. I can't really go on from there. Fill in the blanks, folks. Fill in the blanks. Putin to NBC host, quote, "You and I have much closer relationship than I had with Mr. Flynn," unquote. I think Megyn Kelly, who is over at NBC, had interviewed Putin. She's going to be in now. Let me go here though. I believe, and this I could be wrong. I don't know, but I heard, and please correct me on this if I'm wrong, that Megyn Kelly is going to Austin, Texas, to sit in the studio with Alex Jones. I don't know. Am I wrong? Did I overlook something? I don't know. World leaders slam London attacks as heinous and cynical. What? World leaders slam London attacks as heinous and cynical. This is from RT.com. Leaders and high-ranking officials from across the globe have condemned the London attacks that killed at least 7 and injured nearly 50. Officials called the tragedy brutal, dreadful, and cowardly. In a show of support, Russian President Vladimir Putin has sent a letter of condolences to UK Prime Minister Theresa May, according to a statement published on the president's website. Quote, The crime shocks us with its cruelty and cynicism, unquote, Putin said, adding that the world should join efforts in the fight against global terrorism. The president also expressed his condolences to the families of the victims and wished a speedy recovery to all those injured in the attack. Putin's French counterpart, Emmanuel Macron, reiterated his country's commitment to its long-standing ally. Quote, in the face of this new tragedy, France is more than ever at Britain's side. My thoughts go out to the victims and their loved ones, unquote, he wrote on Twitter. At least 4 French citizens were injured in the attack. Jean-Yves Le Drian, Minister of Europe and Foreign Affairs, later said in a statement as cited by France Info. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said that she learned about the attacks with quote-unquote grief and dismay. Her spokesman, Stefan Siebert, tweeted. It just goes on and on and on. It's a lot of tweets from a lot of people. World leaders, folks, have condemned this attack as heinous and cynical. Some people are saying it's a false flag attack set up by the UK, blah, 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 all that. So I don't have any information to verify that yet. If there is such information out there, please send that my way at American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Putin calls on American business to help restore dialogue between U.S. and Russia. How's that one? It's from RT.com. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday that the foundation of relations between Russia and the United States, which has been formed over decades, has been destroyed in recent years. He asked U.S. businesses to help restore regular dialogue with Washington. Economic cooperation between Russia and the U.S. is generally good, added the Russian president. Quote, our economic interaction with the U.S. is balanced, diversified, and technologically rich. It is generally in good shape, unquote, Putin said at the Russian-U.S. business dialogue, which is taking place during the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum. Where in the world is that video coming from? There it is. Damn. There we go. Hate when the videos start automatically. According to, continuing here at the RT article, according to President Putin, the current Russian-American and bilateral links are at their lowest since the Cold War. However, he added, the sides continue to talk within various international formats, such as United Nations, G20, and APEC. The Russian government will try to create a good business environment for foreign investors, including those from the U.S., he added, quote, we will do our best to make business in Russia worthwhile for our American partners, unquote, said Putin, adding that there are strong ties between the American and Russian business communities. I'm going to put that on American Liberty Radio podcast. Do you see what Putin is doing? Do I trust the guy? I don't like his politics. I don't like his political ideologies. But if he's going to make business better in Russia for the people, I'll shake his hand at least. Russian politics, speaking of which, Defense Ministry seeks tougher control over servicemen's internet activity. I spoke about that on a previous podcast. The aftermath of deadly London attacks, thousands turn out for pro-Scottish independence march in Glasgow. Several protesters killed in clashes with police during Kabul rally. Just a lot going on. Just a lot. RT asks in a poll, what effect will Trump's pullout from the Paris Climate Agreement have? Nothing is the first answer. The U.S. will rejoin it later. The second answer, it will encourage other countries to pull out too. The third one says there will be a review of climate change ideas. And 4, a new deal on the environment may emerge. I am going to vote, it will encourage other countries to pull out too, because, well, guess what? 32% say nothing. The U.S. will rejoin later. 24%, the second answer that I gave, it will encourage other countries to pull out too, which is 24%. So, I don't know what the aftermath would be, really. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. My question to you concerning Kathy Griffin, the wannabe washed up, or I should say not wannabe, but the washed up comic who really, put her foot in her mouth. Do you think she's going to have that, quote, come to Jesus, unquote, moment? Or has she had it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. I don't even know what's going to happen in the aftermath of Trump pulling out of the Paris Accord. I really don't. The money that we spend on climate change theories and all that are only benefiting people like Al Gore. That's it. That's all. It is not, I mean, it's like we can have enough money or enough power in our little finger to change the climate of the world. I mean, come on. Give me a freaking break. When there's geoengineering and chemtrails out there and everything else, the government's already doing it. The Air Force has already admitted they're, controlling the weather through geoengineering. They have already done that. There's other, facilities such as HARP around the world. I mean, come on. Do you really think that throwing money at a climate change theory is going to change the climate of the world? It's not. Folks, it's called weather. It's called weather. That's what it is. It's been going on for millions of years. There's nothing that you can do to change that. There's nothing that you can do to change the climate. Man cannot change the climate. There's no way. But man can destroy or manipulate or finagle, if you will, through science, the way that certain things happen within the climate. That's already been proven, folks. That's already been proven. And we understand that it's going to be even more. I mean, when you get into the climate change theories, when you get into the climate change subjects, when you get into the global warming narrative, you're going to see some really stupid things that are going to be talked about. Lord Monckton, is that his name? Lord Monckton has literally spelled it out for everybody. It's a huge, giant, massive freaking fraud. Global warming and climate change and all this, all that narrative, it's a complete fraud, folks. It's a scam. And I am so glad, and I don't agree with everything that President Trump is doing, but I am so glad he pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord. I'm glad. Why the hell are we in it anyway? When you got Al Gore setting up companies that are, climate exchange, or whatever the hell it is that was in Illinois. I guess it's shut down now, but I mean, Al Gore made billions of dollars on this. And he's still touting the false science behind global warming. As he sits in his house that's so many tens of thousands of square feet, running as much energy as it takes to run a small neighborhood. It's pointless, folks. It's absolutely I'm not even going to go any further with that. It's just pointless, folks. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to go to MSNBC just to see what the enemy is talking about. The enemy of freedom, the enemy of peace, the enemy of security for the nation. 12 arrests in London attacks as PM May vows to defeat terrorism. Yeah, then she better close the damn borders. That's just the way it is. That's it. Done. Close the damn borders. That's it. That's how you solve the problem. Close the damn borders. Levin. It's a live video. Levin, Republicans controlled by fossil fuel industry. I don't even have to click on that. I already know that's the truth. The Republican fascists are controlled by corporations. Democratic socialists are controlled by the ideology of control. I mean, you can insert your own view within that all you want. It's not much of MSNBC that I want to talk about, but, let's go here then. I just saw something before I go anywhere. Former Defense Secretary Rumsfeld has said this. Let me go click on that and I'll tell you what he says as soon as my webpage, not the webpage, but my browser just hates me sometimes. Rumsfeld, Putin shouldn't be encouraged to make mischief. Do you see the... That's on MSNBC. You'll find it. Let me just go... Well, let me do this. I found this, and since I talked about it, just mentioned it in passing, I am going to put this on the American Liberty Radio podcast. And it is what it is, and there you go, American Liberty Radio podcast. Putin shouldn't be encouraged to make mischief. What? That's like telling your kids, go out and be good to the neighbors. Don't fight with them, like you parents out there telling your kids, don't fight with your brother, don't fight with your sister. Just, be nice and, don't encourage them. You see what I mean, folks? Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop it. I was a step-parent for a while, so I understand. The thing is that you have to understand. Here's the overall aspect of this, and then I gotta go. I'm gonna leave a little bit early because I got some things to take care of, and so it's not going to be exactly at the top of the hour, but it will be, close to it. But here's something that really I have taken out of the things, taken from the things that I've researched and investigated in the last 30 or 40 years. And that is, no one has all the answers. Number one, let's just face it. No one has all the answers. I don't care who you are. No one can say, look, I have all the answers. No, you can't do that. There's no way. No one has all the answers. That's one thing. Second thing I've taken from all of this research over the years has been the fact that everybody's going to lie. There's going to be, and I'm talking specifically about the opposition to anything that is truthful, factual, and accurate. They're all going to lie. A prime example of the mainstream propaganda media. They're all going to lie. Just hush. Go to timeout. They're all going to lie. That's it. When you look at it can't get on TV if they're lying. They were demanded to lie. Well, I don't want to say demanded, but they were ordered to lie. Their scripts that they read on the teleprompters are a bunch of misinformed, or I should say misinterpreted, quote unquote, facts to misinform the viewers and listeners. These are the people who are against peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the nation of the United States. These are the opposition forces against freedom and against the First Amendment and against everything else. The mainstream propaganda media, MSNBC, CBS, all of them, lie to you on a daily and nightly basis. That's the second point. Third point really is, and it's real simple, we cannot go around and nitpick anymore. We can't, or did I say nitpick? Well, we can't do that either. We can't go around cherry picking what we want and saying, okay, this is how it's going to be. No. Christians do that with the Bible, and that's embarrassing to me. And I don't go to church anymore. I mean, come on. The intolerant left will do everything they can to push the tolerant people, the open-minded people, the freedom-loving people aside to get their narrative out there. We cannot nitpick. We can do that. We cannot cherry pick what we want to be the intellectual ammo to use against these people. We have to just take all of it together, truth, facts, and the accuracy of those things, and we need to just push that narrative of globalism back into their faces and push them over the edge into the abyss of darkness. That's simple. But, hell, I may even go to the top of the hour. But here's the thing. There are too many cowardly people out there who have absolutely no confidence within them to be able to stand up against these lying bastards on the left. That's it. I have friends who identify as liberal. I have friends who identify as independent. I have friends who identify as Republican and Democrat. I have friends who are, all over the board when it comes to political, ideas and stuff like that. I mean, they're all over the place. And here's something here's a composite of what they've told me. Here's a composite of what the left, the Republicans, the Democrats, the left, the independents, here's the composite of what they said. And this is why I know for a fact that nobody has the confidence or the backbone or the balls to stand up to these globalist assholes out there. They say, I don't want to get involved because I don't want it ruining my day. I don't want, to be inconvenienced. I don't want... Shall I go on, or can you add a few more things to that? We understand what's going on. We understand the situations of what's going on. The independent media, the alternative media, Alex Jones, Michael Savage, even Glenn Beck, even, myself, Brian Lang, Nick Tucker, we know, we understand what's going on. We have, we have the information in front of us. And we put two and two together. We see some information over here, some information over there, some back here, some over there, some this. And we put it all together and we read it and we research it and we're going, 1 + 1 = 2. Here it is. Wow. Okay. But is that the complete answer? We know for a fact that it isn't. But we continue to look at it and we continue to examine it, to rely on other information to verify what we've seen. This is the thing, and a lot of people don't really, understand that part of it. It's like, yeah, just because you see one thing doesn't mean that that's the complete answer. You got to research it, got to go down. And I hate to use this, phrase, but you got to go down a rabbit hole. You got to see it for what it is. You cannot ignore it, and you have to build up that confidence to know, hey, wait a minute, something is wrong here. I've got to combat all of this coming at me at the velocity that it is from the globalists. We have to stop this. We all together have to stop this. We cannot cherry pick information to try to use it against them. They already know that's what we're doing. We can't do that. Okay. We can't do that. That's just, we can't. This is Wayne Pierce. Wayne S. Pierce. WayneSPierce.com is the website. American Liberty Radio Network is the website. Or AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com is the website. American Liberty Radio Network. Sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.